Hello there, Dr. Tummala from Trinergy Health Holistic Psychiatry Clinic in New Berlin. And today I have the pleasure of introducing Shannon Koenitz. So when I think of you, Shannon, the first thing that comes to mind is that you're a warrior mom.
Wow.
And then your credentials, the hard work that you put in to gain the expertise and the wisdom that you have, which is that you're a psychologist, and you're also the founder of and director for International Hyperbarics Association.
Yes.
Of which I am a member of, and you were also the past executive director of MAPS. So we are both here at the MAPS conference, which is the Medical Academy of Pediatrics and Special Needs, and so I've been interviewing a few people, mainly speakers and the founders of this organization, and really trying to understand the vision that led to the founding of this organization. Right. So as one of the founding mothers, founding members,
hey, I like that.
Right? Why do you do what you do?
Boy, I get asked that question a lot, and I would have to say for me, it was my daughter Grace. So like many of us out there, we either have a loved one or it's ourselves that we're looking for better health, both mental and physical. And when my daughter was diagnosed with a really rare mitochondrial disease, I wasn't really left with a lot to do with her. So I went on this venture as a mom and tried to find things that could possibly help her, and it just led me to different people. And then I just realized that there was so much more that I could do, not just for Grace, but like for so many other parents and families dealing with things. When you get diagnosed with a chronically ill child, what do you do? And I just thought there had to be something bigger, something out there, and there just wasn't. And I'm like the type of person like, okay, well, if there's not, then I need to develop it, and I need to work with people, because I didn't want people to feel as lost as I felt when I was in the hospital all those years with her, and just trying to find somebody that could possibly help us. So I just said, well, I'm gonna get her better, and then I'm gonna do something that can, help other people so they don't have to go through everything that we went through as a family.
Thank you, Shannon, for sharing that. And I've read your blogs about this, and Grace is really a story of hope. I think people can find out more about Grace's journey, and it is.
Yeah, you can go to shannonandgrace.com, and it we documented her whole life, from the time she was on life support to her getting out of her wheelchair to then going to school, and now she attends the University of Madison, Wisconsin, and so it's just she is a beacon of hope for sure.
Yeah, and especially in the field, as a psychiatrist, before in my previous avatar as a regular psychiatrist, the concept of hope is really missing. We see, whether it is autism or schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, we see as a one-way street. Like once people go down this path, there is no return. But from your own experience with your own daughter, as well as my experience in helping many people with chronic illnesses, I know that is not the truth anymore.
It isn't, and I think we need to really take note of that. That one of my biggest things that I say to people, and just not even when I'm on the lecture series and I'm speaking all around the world, but just to everyday people, that if you don't have hope, then you don't have possibility. So you need to make sure that you take that hope, because it will bring possibilities to you. And sometimes it's really hard when you're faced with these things and you're being told over and over, your child's gonna die, take them home, make them comfortable. But you know what? Nobody knows anything. Nobody has the answer until the answer is there. So you shouldn't always just trust and believe in things that you're being told. And I really encourage people that I talk to, like, to do their own digging, like to do their own research and find somebody, because that was my biggest thing with Grace, is that I didn't want to let her go until I knew that I did everything in my power to let her go, right? Because I didn't know how I'd be a good mom to my other daughter, Lily. And, for us, hyperbaric therapy was just that thing for us. It got her over that hurdle. And had I not had hope, I feel like it'd be a different story today.
Agreed, and so much of it is really listening to our intuition, especially for us as women and mothers. I know that my holistic journey also happened because I became a mother. And I talk about it as well. Up until that point in time, I didn't care what I was eating, what I was putting into my body. Even as a physician, those kinds of things didn't really factor in until yeah, we decided to have a child, and then that was when all of these things happened, and my interest in the toxins, or the nutrition, not only for pregnancy and afterwards, but for young children, and all of that. Yeah. Now that we're talking about hope, do you want to talk about the Hope Foundation?
Yeah, so I left, this is my first MAPS conference, that I'm not the acting executive director, so it's been a little strange for me, but it's also very exciting for me, because hyperbaric oxygen therapy is it's just my thing, because it saved my daughter Grace's life. And we are an organization that promotes the use of hyperbaric therapy for various indications. But the biggest thing that we have is the Hope Fund, which is Hyperbaric Oxygen Pediatric Endowment, which I'm going to be soon changing to Hyperbaric Oxygen Patient Endowment, because I don't want to leave out the adults that need hyperbaric therapy and so forth. But we raise money for families that can't afford hyperbarics. So, when I did hyperbarics, Grace started hyperbarics 20 years ago. She's 23 now. And I was paying close to $200 a session, and she needed a lot of sessions. And I don't want anybody not to do hyperbarics because they can't afford it. So the Hope Fund is just something that's part of the IHA, because we also do like educational conferences, as you know. You're a speaker at them, and we loved having you and can't wait for the future of that.
Thank you.
But so we do like education, and then we fund research, and then we fund treatments. And obviously that part is my favorite part of my job, is that part, is being able to check somebody off my waiting list to be like, guess what, you get to go to this clinic for 40 sessions, or we're going to place a chamber in your home for 3 months, depending on where they live in the country. So but yeah, so anybody that knows me knows that hope is actually my favorite word. I have it all over my house. I have keychains, just because it just got me through some of the darkest times with my daughter Grace. So
yes, I mean, who cannot identify with that, right? I mean, life can get hard for all of us, but it is also an opportunity for our psycho-spiritual growth, but to be able to navigate that journey, hope is the ingredient that we need.
Absolutely.
And as you know, I started doing hyperbarics as well. And in the short time that I've been offering it, I am seeing similar kinds of results.
That's great.
Across a wide variety of psychiatric conditions. So
that's
wonderful. I do think that hyperbarics is going to really be a game changer for a lot of conditions.
I do too. Yeah. And it's only growing.
It is
more
growing.
And more physicians like you are learning about it, that are taking chances and trying it with their patients, because what do you have to lose? It's not going to harm them, and you need to offer them everything that you can possibly offer them.
Yes, so. And the rationale behind hyperbarics is actually, it's a no-brainer actually, because as a holistic physician, I don't treat diagnosis, I treat the root physiological imbalances. It's usually inflammation, toxicity, nutritional deficiencies, and looking at ways that we can enhance the regeneration, because once damage has happened and you're fixing the damage, but you also need the body to regenerate and repair itself. And this is where hyperbarics is so perfectly positioned, that it reduces inflammation, it helps with detoxification, it stimulates mitochondrial rejuvenation, and most importantly, it releases tons of stem cells for repair and regeneration. So when I heard and understood the mechanisms of action, it's like, hey, I could do this for autism, I could do this for depression, for anxiety, for schizophrenia, for bipolar, for autoimmunity. I mean, the indications can be endless. And that's the journey I am on now, is, if there's a patient that is willing to go along this adventure with me, I'm actually doing it.
That's amazing.
Documenting it, and we are seeing some amazing responses
I'm
to
so excited about that, especially in the psychiatric world, which is what we need so much.
Yes, dementia too, there too, with the post-stroke, traumatic brain injury. I mean, I can go on with the list of indications.
And I think sometimes that's why hyperbarics, sometimes people kind of naysay it, because it can help with so many different things. But like you said, if you break it down and you look at the mechanism of why it's working, it should help with so many things, because that's what we're trying to do, is decrease that inflammation, whether you have it in your gut or your brain, and get those toxins out of your body. So
and also, when you look at the causation of disease, as a holistic doctor, as a holistic psychiatrist, what I've seen is that no matter what disease it is, it's only 3 root causes from my perspective. It's bad diet, trauma, and toxins, which cause gut-brain axis disintegration, so leaky gut, inflammation, and this is what's happening. So that's, I mean, that, when for anyone that says, oh, how can hyperbarics address all these conditions? It's because the root causes are the same.
It's,
whether it is cancer, depression, diabetes, or dementia, we are looking at the same root causes.
Right.
And I think that's the message that people need to understand.
Yes, absolutely.
All these differences that are being created between diseases, they are just artificial differences.
Right.
And we need to get to the root
Yeah,
of it.
absolutely.
So with your extensive experience, and this is going to be a tough question because I know you have a wealth of knowledge and wisdom, but I want you to really put that into 3 pearls of wisdom for our viewers. Many of them, I'm hoping, are people that are looking to enhance their own physical and mental well-being, or probably enhance the well-being of their loved ones. What would you say to them are the 3 big?
I think the 3 biggest for me would be, obviously to start with hope, because if you have that hope, then you have the possibilities. When you have the possibilities, you can find amazing physicians like you. You can find organizations that are out there that can help you. So you need to have that strength in yourself to be able to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make it work, I'm going to do that. And I think it's so much easier to do when you have hope. That would be my number 1. My number 2, I feel that it's really important for people to understand that sometimes you have to let go of people that are in your circle, whether it's family or friends. If you're on a mission to help yourself, your loved one, whoever it may be, it doesn't mean they're out of your life forever. It was a tough one for me, but the moment I was able to do that, it actually freed me up, mind, body, spirit, to be able to just focus on grace, which is what I wanted to do. So understand that people think differently, men and women think differently, that, whatever you're dealing with, whoever you're trying to help, that's your primary goal, and it's okay to do that. You're not being selfish by doing that. So hope would be number 1. Put yourself around positive people. If people aren't on the same journey as you, say, I love you, and I'll get back to you as soon as I do what I need to do. And the 3rd one would be, just to never give up. That's a little bit different than having hope, because you can have hope and still give up on something and you don't lose hope. But what I mean by never give up, I mean that when one door shuts, another one opens. And I had so many doors shut on me with Grace with Hyperbarics. They didn't want to treat her because she was too fragile. She was on life support. She's one of 5 kids in the world with her disease. What if she dies in the chamber? That had nothing to do with Hyperbarics, but just because of her underlying disease. But, there's always another door that will open when one gets slammed, and you just have to find that. And, so just don't give that up, be determined and be precise in what you're doing, and I think if you have hope, you put yourself around the right people and you never give up, you're going to get your end. You're going to get the end that you want. And even, I say to parents all the time, and even family members, because not everybody has a great story ending like mine. My daughter wasn't supposed to live past 2. She's now 23. But I talk to people who they got an extra 3 years with their loved one. You can't put money on that. Yes. That time and the quality that you have, the fact that you're able to do something that changes somebody's life and you get that quality time with them, as us as human beings, that's really all we want. So, just understand that every little thing is a big thing, and just never give up, and make sure you have that. Your people are your people, and if you need some people, you can contact me, you can contact Doc, and we'll find the right people in your area to put you in front of, because there's, we're both sitting here, but there's thousands of us out there, and all we want to do is help.
That is correct. And even my effort in putting out these videos is to really drown out all the negativity that's on social media, but to populate with positive messaging and really education.
Yeah.
So to our last question now. So you're handing over your other baby.
Yes,
right?
I am.
Maps over to the new team, to Honey Rinicelli. So what are your hopes for Maps, and where do you see this the trajectory of this organization?
Boy, I just got chills when you asked me that question, because it's just kind of surreal being here and not being in that role. I woke up this morning, I was like, oh my God, am I late at the registration desk? And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have to be down there. But what my goal and my dream for MAPS is that now that they have, this was more of my philanthropy. So this was like my second job. It was my baby. I needed doctors to be out there that could do more than a 15-minute consult, which is what we're used to, right? You go in, your doctor sees you, you're maybe with the doctor 5 minutes, right? We need doctors to have more time with patients that have chronic illness. And so where I see MAPS going is unlimited. You have 2 amazing people working now at the helm. Dr. Neuenschwander is going to be, stepping in as the acting president, which he really has been doing for the last 5 years with me anyway. And you have just a great group of doctors that are going to take this, and now you have the support staff to take it. So I see it just exploding. We've now have trained fellows, I think, in close to 40 countries, but that should be like hundreds, and the members in the US, we've seen, if anything came out, we just had this conversation earlier. I don't, take COVID lightly because people lost their lives, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
But if there's one thing that came out of COVID, it's that the general public has finally taken their health into their own hands. And they finally have realized that, wow, anything could happen at any time. And that's a wake-up call. And I see more and more people just being proactive about their health,
Yes.
which is what we want. We're always reactive, like you get a disease and then you do this. Well, how about you don't, eat that, or you don't do that, and then you won't have that problem. And so I see that reverting. I see that MAPS is in that position. They have amazing doctors here. They have amazing researchers. And I think that if, once we put everything together, it's only going to skyrocket, and you're going to see, it's going to be, we have MAPS doctors in almost every state, but, our goal is to have it in every big city, right? In
Wonderful.
every small town. So I see it only growing from here. We've now started to do more of an online program as well.
Yes.
That's going to open it up to people to do their fellowships online. So it's such an exciting time, and I'm so excited for them as an organization. I still serve on the board, so I'll be very active with MAPS, but I feel like it's going to finally just be able to do what it needs to do. So I'm super excited.
Wonderful. Me too. I've been doing holistic psychiatry. I've come from functional medicine and Ayurvedic medicine, but this is really rounding up what I've known, and it's giving me some new pearls, and it's really just fascinating to hear the research that's out there with regard to this.
It's going to be amazing.
It is.
It's going to be amazing.
Thank you so very much.
Thanks for having me. I love chatting. Bye.